welcome to Cars to Yards from the Adventure Stadium on top of Adventure Begins Comics and Games in Conroe, Texas. As always, I'm Mark. I never change, but sometimes my co-host does. It is Adventure Stadium's own Sam. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Good, except, so is it crazy that, nothing will ever be like last February, right? But like, whenever it dips into the 60s, I think it's an Arctic blast.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But I like cold things. Like,
right.
I like it cold weather because that means I can spend more time outside because, fair skin burns during the summer.
It's been pleasant the last few days.
It has.
I just, when you go from like 112 degrees or whatever
down to like
60,
40.
Yeah. 60, 40.
It's a little bit different of a change.
Yeah, but that's October for you. And speaking of October, baseball.
I know. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Did you watch the game last night?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I stayed up way too late watching it.
Yeah, at least it wasn't like a West Coast game.
Yeah, thank
but
goodness
it was
that.
Very stressful. We'll get to that in a second. Other baseball news first. As you know, Pujols hit his 700th home run this year, kind of overshadowed by Aaron Judge's chase to 62, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
we're sorry, Pujols.
So Pujols ball is going to be on auction October 28th through Golden. And it's expected to get six figures. So one thing is that, it seems like Judge's ball might go for like 20 times more. Do you think that that's warranted? Or
no.
Yeah.
No. Because, throughout a career, whether you're high school, little league, college, football, whatever, you're going to hit 60 home runs. Now, you may not be a power hitter able to do that.
Right.
But you'll get it. I played softball. I don't know that I hit 60 in my career, but I hit enough to know that 60 is a cool number. Yes, that is very awesome. I'm super excited that he's gotten that number. I'm also excited that it's good for him in his young career and he's able to do all that and chase all these big numbers. But Albert Pujols is a legend.
Yeah.
700 home runs. Do you know how many people have hit that so far? Hit that limit?
Right.
Very few.
And to be fair, I think that Pujols probably had 62 just against the Astros over his career. At one time I looked it up, and he had something like 11% against the Astros. And remember, he followed them from the Cardinals over to the Angels, so kind of followed them as they changed from NL to AL. But
yeah.
I guess the one thing with Pujols' 700th home run is that since he was with the Cardinals for the second time in his career, and he's most likely done. He did finish with 703, so they were saying, well, maybe 703 would get more. But there's only been 4 players ever to hit 700, so that means there's only 4 700 balls. Now, the thing with Judge is that Yankees fans are nuts.
Well,
like Yankees fans even think the Yankees could beat the Astros somehow. So that's how off the rails they are already.
That's because they believe in miracles.
Right. But
I'm not an Astros fan. But
okay.
I'm a baseball fan in general. I don't have like a team.
Okay.
But I will root against anybody who plays the Yankees.
Okay.
That's just who I am.
That works in this scenario. Then that's fine. But I guess because the Yankees are so historic, and Babe Ruth had 60s, so when he tied Babe Ruth, that was a big deal. When he passed Babe Ruth, that was a big deal. And so doing that, he tied Maris, and then when he broke Maris's Yankees single-season record, which is also the AL record, that was a big deal. And there's an asterisk on Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, and Sammy Sosa.
Yes.
So everyone that would lead him in that category, regardless of league, kind of from that steroid era. But
silly man.
I don't know. I still think I would take a 700.
100%. I would rather have the big number because those are statistics that are very small. Not a lot of people will do them. Not a lot of people have the career to get to that point.
Right.
Because they're sneezing and blowing out their back.
Yeah.
Or they're
playing Guitar Hero and hurting
themselves.
Yeah.
Or, just time and age and they decide they don't want to play anymore so they retire. Or, you don't get a lot. Yes, Baseball is what I call a 401k sport. If you're investing in it, it's going to deal with, like, you're going to have long-term investments in it. But, you know, not everyone's going to be able to reach 700 home runs in their career.
No.
That's a lot, considering you have maybe 5 to 7 pitches every time you're up to bat.
Yeah.
Depending on, you know, who you're playing, also depending on innings. So if you batted every inning for, let's say, 9 innings, and you see 7 pitches, that's nowhere near 700.
Right. And also, that's a lot of trips to the drugstore without getting a topical cream that has steroids in it and gets you suspended like half a year. So it's a long career. I think he's done. Again, finished with 703, so maybe that would be more appealing to some people. But I understand Yankees fans feverish, so I get that ball will probably garner a lot more. And the guy who caught it, who's like already a well-to-do financial advisor in the Dallas area, he has decided to make a decision, so that'll be coming later this week, to whether he just sells it to a private buyer or puts it up for auction. So
honestly, I'd keep it. I'd make it. I would rise up what I could out of it, because you could literally sell it to any Yankee fan for almost any amount of money you want.
Yeah.
You could even sell it to to an auction house. You say, "Hey, you have proof because the whole world saw you."
Right.
So it's not like there's no proof that this isn't the ball that you say it is.
Right.
You know, I would honestly hold on to it and keep it and see
if it appreciates.
Yeah.
Well, but like you said though, long career, you don't know if that's going to be judged. So I would just sell it while it's hot. I would sell it before the Astros beat the Yankees this year, but
yes,
if
what we all hope for happens,
sure.
Yeah,
I hope so.
I would definitely sell it before the Yankees get rounded out.
But back to the people who are actually playing. Playoffs have been kind of crazy so far.
They have.
In the AL, it's exactly how it's supposed to be, the 1 versus the 2. Yankees, Astros for the 3rd time in 6 years. Astros trying to go to the World Series for 4 times out of 6 years, which is crazy.
Yep. That just means they have a good team and they have a good management behind them.
Yes.
They understand what it takes to get to the next level and get to that, performance, not just out of the players, but out of the entire club.
Right.
So, going 6 years in a row, that's hard. Even for some of the best teams in the world. Like, my mom is a huge Boston Red Sox fan. Do you know how many times they've gone in the past 6 years?
No. Yeah, I didn't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a hot streak for a while, but
they did.
They're
them
in
and the Yankees, they were going back and forth, but then the past 6 years, I think they've made it to the postseason once, maybe twice.
And finished last in their division this year, like even behind the Orioles. Yep. So, but no, it's very tough to do that. And then, but in the NL, it's like the 5th and 6th seed, the Padres and Phillies respectively, and they were not expected. I'm excited for, but every time the Phillies have won the World Series, it's a economic disaster. It was going back to 1929, the Great Depression, of course, they won. 2008, the housing bubble crisis, they won. So brace yourself if that happens, but they are now tied at 1 game apiece. But just both of those teams getting there to beat the higher seed.
Yeah. I think it's fantastic. And on top of that, they're from what I consider smaller baseball markets. The Phillies, San Diego. San Diego has how many teams to compete with over in California?
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're able to push through all of that to get up to this postseason. That's a huge benefit in themselves. It's a huge market for them, and I hope that this helps them and gets a better club for them, and they're able to, move forward and possibly win,
And pay attention to what topical creams they're buying at the drugstore, because it's amazing that they're doing this with Tatis on an 80-game suspension. It's incredible.
Yes.
It's incredible that they're doing this, and So that series is tied 1-1.
Shows you what a team can do without a star player.
Well, I mean, they have a star player in Soto, but
they do. But I'm just saying, the big hype has always been Tatis, and,
right?
All the things that he can do, and all of the things that can happen with him, and why he's the face of San Diego. But
and just to be clear, just to go back and set up, how each of those teams got there. The Phillies beat the Braves 3-1 in the best of 5, which was crazy, but. So here's what happened in the Dodgers-Padres series. Everything was going okay for the Dodgers. The series, I believe, was tied at 1. But then the LA Kings, who are a hockey team, decided to have an intermission segment, much like the Kiss Cam, where they had a celebrity look-alike segment.
Yep.
So they showed people on the screen, and then they would show a fake celebrity version in the crowd. Of course, at some point within this, they put a Dodger up there. Everyone goes crazy. Then they put Jose Altuve from the Astros on one side of the screen. And then, of course, they had the cameraman in one of the concession hallways record a trash can. So they had Jose Altuve as a trash can. And then, of course, I think that night is when the Padres knocked off the Dodgers. So just be careful if you're out there planning any kind of in-game festivities or fun video segments. Just you may want to steer away from karma. I mean,
yes, karma
that's pretty crazy. So. And everyone, of course, the Astros cheat. We're never going to be able to. The only way we may have been able to kind of get rid of that whole stigma would have been to beat the Dodgers so bad that they quit after Game 3. But they're not even gonna be on the other side. So I'm kind of rooting for why not? I mean, why not Cleveland, Houston at this point? I mean,
Cleveland lost.
That's true. So who was I thinking of?
I don't know.
Phillies.
Phillies or Padres?
I don't know who I was thinking of.
I was I
might already be thinking of basketball season. Maybe I was thinking about the Cavs, but anyways.
Yes. My hopeful is
Phillies.
that I hope that the Phillies get to play the Astros in the World Series.
Okay. And then you have the star power with Bryce Harper too.
Yep.
Even though, like I said, Soto, but we don't need to see him again since he already beat us in 1.
But I want the Phillies to play the Astros. I think that would be a great game. It'd be a great series to watch because both teams have some great I call them freshmen, some great newbies.
Yeah, they do.
That are up and coming. They've got some power behind them. They've got some good looks. They've got some good stats. And I just think that would be a great match because they're two. Don't be wrong. I know the Astros are big down here in Houston, and we have a big following all over the world, but they're still kind of a newer team. They're still kind of trying to figure out their stride. Yes, They've been to the last 6 years, and they've gotten postseason, and we're super excited, but they're still kind of new, young, fresh teams that I think would be great to see and see how they pull it off.
Oh, I remember. I didn't want to even look at the Yankees, so I just wanted Cleveland to beat them.
I wanted Cleveland to beat them so bad.
But... So now the Astros are playing the Yankees like it should be, of course. I thought it was inevitable. I really did think for a second there Cleveland might pull it off, but they didn't.
I was hoping they would.
So Yankees beat the Guardians. Well, really the winner of the series was weather because they had 2 games delayed, and the Yankees had to play the day before on Tuesday and then fly to Houston. And, of course, the media is letting us know about it, that they didn't get to sleep till 1 a.m. and all this stuff. It's okay. So
they're baseball players.
So, little rocky start yesterday.
Yep.
But then Verlander tightened up. At one point, he had 6 strikeouts in a row, which was a record. He struck out, obviously, 6 Yankees in a row, which was a record. He got his 219th postseason strikeout, which was a record.
Yeah.
And Astros hit a couple of solo home runs, including Pena again.
I know.
Yeah.
He has been on it.
Yeah. And Chas McCormick, also another young guy. And so we won 4-2.
Yeah.
And we'll see what tonight holds with Framber on the mound.
Because I know, my husband and I watched it last night, and we were like, okay, it's 1-1. We just need the one hit. That's all we need, just to get a base hit. And then they had it loaded up, and we just couldn't seem to get a hit. And then all of a sudden, here you go, soar.
Yeah.
I was so excited.
Yeah, Kyle Tucker grounding out.
It just seemed like back to back. It just seemed the Yankees got a little defeated because they had the one hit, and then it just was like boom, 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 hits after hits after hits.
Yeah, but I just hope, because of the weird 2-3-2 format, so, game 3, 4, 5 in New York, they really need to win tonight, especially with Fromber on the mound. So we'll see what happens, but, the bat's kind of coming to life. Altuve needs to turn it around. He was 0 for 16 before last night. So
sometimes it happens.
Well, yeah, but historically, he's also a Yankees killer in the playoffs, so... He needs to.
That's why he's waiting till they get to the Yankee Stadium, and then he's just going to devour them. That he's tricking.
Well, does that mean I got to sit through one more bad Altuve game tonight?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He's tricking them. He's making them feel like they're confident that he's not going to do any good, and then once he gets to New York, he's going to be like, "Ha ha, suckers!"
Okay. Well, I mean, as long as we win, that's fine. He can have all the bad games he wants as long as we win, but he's going to catch flack when we lose finally. So
it happens.
And just getting to that series, that 18-inning game against the Mariners on Saturday was insane.
Right?
And Garcia coming in and pitching like the last 5 innings or whatever, just crazy. And every time that's happened, and when I said, Pena homered again, he's the one that gave us that 1-0 win. And every time a playoff game has gone to 18 innings, which has only happened 4 times, there's a homer in like the top of the 18th or something like that. So
always.
It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Well, with all that baseball going on, there's also the sport of basketball, which started.
I know, it started last night.
Yeah, and speaking of all, the newbies, the Rockets are a very, very young team.
They are.
You could see that when they took on Trae Young's Hawks in Atlanta yesterday. They lost 117-107.
But they put up a good game.
Okay.
For youngins, they put up a good game for youngins. But
with an analytical mind, the turnovers killed them. They gave up 28 points on turnovers.
Yes.
That was hard to watch. They fell back pretty bad in the second quarter, but fought back again. Losing by 10 on the road to Atlanta with a superstar like Trae Young, not horrible. And
it
Jabari
just gives them something to
build on
and look forward to and practice more and be like, okay, if this is the kind of talent we're going to have to play as young people and as a newer, younger team, then they know, hey, look, I need to step up my game.
Right. And then
they only beat us by 10, but they beat us by 10.
They did. But Jabari Smith Jr., one of the highlights, had 17 points in his debut.
Yep.
Missed a lot of threes, but when he finds his shot, it's on as far as that goes. Kevin Porter Jr. led everyone with 21 points, also adding 7 assists. Jalen Green in his sophomore debut, 16 points. And I was kind of surprised that Alperen Sengun was on the bench, but if he plays like this, he'll be 6th man of the year because he had 15 points. So, and then
it could be a strategy thing for them, trying to figure out who works best with what hair and who works best where, and on the road versus at home, how they do. So it could just be more of a strategy game for them.
Yeah, and I picked them to have like 40 wins, which would be 2 under 500. I'd be happy with that, but that's also going to be a long season because I got to sit through 41 more losses. But I mean, they may only have like 30 wins too, so I might have to sit through like 50 more losses. But it'll be a fun season. They host the Grizzlies tomorrow for the home opener in Houston. Nice. Yeah, so, but yeah, lots of young talent, exciting. So, another team with lots of young talent, the Texans, and they had a bye week, but maybe the team has advanced a little because they shook up the front office by parting ways with Jack Easterby.
Yep.
Super controversial executive vice president. No other way to put it. You can read the articles out there, everything that went on behind the scenes.
That was crazy.
Sort of like a power grab over the last few years since O'Brien left.
Yep.
And the Texans are off to a sluggish 1-3-1 start.
Yeah.
So that probably doesn't help. But, they're going to look to turn things around with the Raiders this Sunday. What do you think? Do you think the Texans might have 4 more wins in them this year?
I'd say like 2.5.
Okay.
I think they're
so another tie.
Yeah, I think they're going to tie again with the. Well, if you look at the rest of their season, they've got some decent people they've got to kind of overcome. I think they'll probably tie one, maybe two, depending on, because they're the Texans.
Sure.
They're a young group. You got to figure out, they're just kind of starting to get into this stride with, all of their receivers and running backs and, the QB at the helm, trying to figure out who to what, when, where, why. I think maybe they'll have 2 wins for sure, maybe a third, maybe that third may be a tie, but I think they'll have a decent end of the season. Do I think they'll go all the way?
Oh, no.
But I think they'll have a good season for them.
All the way to 3 wins. Because that's what they would have. But, Davis Mills, I just don't know if he's going to ever be that flashy breakout QB. So, and consistency is fine, but you would have to have a heck of a defense for that to work in the long run.
Well, and I think that's something that they're trying to build.
Yeah.
So, and you see it.
Sure.
Game after game, their defense is getting a little bit better every game. They're kind of understanding you can only do so much practice during off season. You can only have so much of that knowledge. And with this being such a young team, you have to get those games under your belt to realize, this is what I should have done. This is how I should have done this. Yes, I can see it on the playbooks now. I can see it. I visually am there. I understand what's going on. And I think that's part of what's going on in Texas with the Texans right now is they're getting those young guns, those young kids that have, they maybe this isn't their, rookie year. They're sophomores or juniors in the NFL, but they're kind of becoming more understandable and more understand of what the plays with these particular people look like. What they have to do to help pick up slack, what they have to do to make sure they're doing their jobs. Because that team, I love them. They're a great team, but they have been rotating like crazy through players.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I think what they need is that stability between those veterans and those rookies to be like, okay, this is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to do these things. And just come together. And I think this year is going to be great for that, especially getting rid of the weird vice president.
Yeah.
And, and making those steps towards better decisions. And I think this will be a good building year. And they'll probably build for another couple of years until they get, to a good place to where they're more consistent in getting wins and more consistent in their defense and holding teams to 20 points, 30 points, not always just unfortunately letting some run them over.
Sure. And if nothing else, we got the Astros as a distraction for at least 3 more games. So
yeah,
that'll work. All right, products. What's going on? What's coming out?
We got all kinds of products, man. The best thing that I think has come out, and that's just because we're in baseball season, is I love Topps Update Baseball.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I know it doesn't technically come out to the end of the month, but these cards are just fantastic.
It's the flagship. It's going to have, the J-Rod rookie, of course. Everyone is after. Everyone's after those. They're going to be after Pena.
Yes, now they
will
be.
From the Astros. So, I always love that set. I love the continuation of what they're doing with the 87 series and
like
all that.
Vintage look.
Yeah.
And I know it's not the same feel because the cardboard's different and things like that, but I like that look because it reminds all of us that are older and have been in the hobby a little bit longer of the cards that we used to carry as kids. Going to the corner store, paying, 10 cents for that and a pack of bubble gum.
Yeah. Affordable product.
Yes. And I think that's great. I think it's good that they're kind of stepping back to their, what I would consider their roots of trading cards and just getting it going.
And I think Lou promised me we were done with last year's cards, but it looks like we got one more NBA product on the horizon, 21-22 Select, which is, I love those cards.
I love the Select cards. They are just pretty.
The colorways on them are awesome. I would love to pick up some of the aforementioned Rockets rookies from that set from last year.
And I think that product is going to do well. I think it's going to be great.
Sure.
Because, yes, it is last year's rookies. It is last year's teams. But then you know what next year's going to look like. Hey, Jalen Green's a rookie that year. So look who I'm going to go for. And then you'll have people, that
established rookies.
Yeah. that they're like, oh, Jalen Green's doing great. He was a rookie last year. Let's find his rookie card.
Right. And then Chronicles Baseball is another one coming out. And that's just fun because it's probably, 28 sets in one. I mean, Chronicles is that we opened some soccer on the last episode. And it's just one of those that they pay homage to all these different base sets over the last 20, 30 years. It's fun.
And that's great. Like, I love the history of the sport, which is one of the reasons I played, softball for so long, is because I love the history of baseball. I love the reason it came about. I loved all the players, all of that. Don't get me wrong, I wish I could be in the softball Hall of Fame, but I am not, which is fine. A little sad, but it's one of those great things that they pay tribute to the sets from the past as well as the people from the present, and it's just, I like their cards. They're just great.
And then as Lou said, soccer is going to heat up as we get closer to the World Cup.
Yeah, next month, and we're like weeks away.
Oh yeah, we're weeks away, and y'all have a great selection. So get out here and get your soccer before that spikes for sure.
All kinds of soccer.
Anything else going on as far as calendar events for
we do
Adventure
have a couple
Stadium?
Of calendar events. So on the 12th or 13th of November, it's the stadium's birthday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we're doing raffles. We're having breaks.
Okay.
Live breaks here at the store. You can come in and look. We've got all kinds of things going on. But we are super excited. We are going to celebrate our 1 year birthday. Mm-hmm. Woo woo woo. Also, we have Panini Player of the Days for NFL supposedly coming.
Okay.
We have yet to receive them, but we have been told that they are on their way.
On the way, okay.
So we're hoping. And we're also hoping that they will do that for, I know it's coming for basketball. Mm-hmm. So we have those. And then next month, there is also a HGA Day.
Okay.
So our contact, Teresa from HGA, is coming here to the store to come and hang out with us. She's going to explain HGA. She's going to, talk about the cards and the products, but we're also just going to have some fun. We're going to do a couple of games. We're going to do, I think we have a raffle set up for that, and we're super excited. Vic and I are going to do Women of Star Trek.
Oh, finally, yeah.
I know. I've been so excited for this. I'm super excited. But yes, we are doing Women of Star Trek next month for International Women's Month.
Oh, awesome. That's a great product.
I'm excited.
I love that product.
I'm super excited.
So that's a lot going on. So
we do.
Get in here and check that out.
I know. And we also have I don't know if we're doing it next month because it's usually every third Sunday. Okay. We may move it up a couple of Sundays, but Trade Day is also coming.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Black Friday.
Okay.
Black Friday is coming, and everything in the stadium, I'm pretty sure everything in the whole store, is going to be 25% off. And
wow.
That includes memorabilia items, mystery packs, sealed cases. I mean, everything is 25% off.
And speaking of, you mentioned mystery packs. We'll end this episode of Cards to Yards with our glossary term. And I had already picked a repack, so perfect segue there.
Perfect.
Repack is cards that were previously opened, usually, top loaded, sorted out, and put back into mystery packs. And you guys have some here?
I do. I create them myself.
Yeah.
So, and on our mystery packs, the black mystery packs are $5 a piece. Mm-hmm. So you have everything from basketball, football, soccer, hockey, UFC, WWE. We even have some Star Wars, some Pokemon, Magic the Gathering. Like, I kind of do a little bit of everything in those. I do also, there is one pack that I create that is kind of the bomb pack.
Okay.
But I hide it.
Yeah.
I don't really hide it. Like, you can easily see it if you actually look for it, but I put it not with the others, but I put them around the store for people to look for and look at to kind of make it a fun event for the kids to see. Last time, one of our regulars got it, and he got like a Hank Aaron auto out of it. He got some Mike Trout stained glass out of it. Like, they were just big hits. He got a couple of autos and a couple of low numbers out of it. So you get a lot of good things out of these mystery packs. Very
cool. So yeah, come in here for those. Come in here for trade nights coming up for the birthday celebration.
Yes. We're super excited.
Yeah. So check out all that info on the website will keep you posted on upcoming events. For Sam, I'm Mark, and this has been another episode of Cards to Yards.
Well, gang, that's all for today's episode. So join us next week. Cards to Yards, brought to you by the Adventure Stadium, and the adventure begins. Again, we're located off 1488 and Woodland Square Boulevard. See you next time.